Hey all, Level 5 Pidgey here. After suggesting it alongside my original pre-rework D.Va guide, many of you wanted me to provide a video version of the matchup section provided in the only D.Va guide you ever need. Again, the text version of all the advice, tips and guidelines provided in this video is available in the description so that you can refer back to a text version in the future if needed. Before I do start, I want to thank both Reza and Blue for being the test subjects in this video and members of my Discord for both their patience and their input whilst I was making these tips and this guide. We're going to go through the hero roster in the order they are presented, starting with the offense heroes. I'll provide as many tips as my knowledge of D.Va provides, but for some heroes there may only be one piece of advice given. Additionally, unless there are specific strategies, I won't talk much about eating ults for characters such as Mei or Ziya, as it's common knowledge at this point. If you want to extend your own knowledge to help others, please leave them in the comments. I'll add a heart to any comments that you guys provide that I think are of great quality. Without further ado, here is my complete D.Va matchup guide. For the first tier of the guide, Doomfist is a pretty skill-reliant matchup. Dodging his rocket punch is vital to winning the fight as it's his greatest source of burst damage and is the only way he can get you out of your mech quickly. Use your boosters or sidestep the punch and then go in for the kill as he's easy to track whilst he's performing his uppercut. Additionally, you can engage on him with your face turned away so his powerful shotgun attacks can't crit you. Genji is another mobile but manageable hero that shouldn't give you much trouble provided you're accurate. Without his dash, Genji can easily be chased and cannot escape your persistent attacks. When fighting him, utilize booster and melee to boop him out of his jumps and make him easier to track. When Genji does pop his Dragon Blade and uses his dashes, try boop him away from whoever he chases. A Genji that is unable to get a reset cannot chain kills and will often infuriate the Genji player as he desperately chases after his intended target without a dash to use. The winner of a McCree v D.Va fight is usually decided whether Flashbang successfully stuns you, and as such your entire focus should be on deleting it. McCree players have a habit of waiting until you are just in range for a Flashbang before using it, and as such you should save your Matrix until you are within that range. If he holds Flashbang until your Matrix is depleted, you can easily unload a full missile volley into him whilst your Matrix is up to delete 75% of his HP. Additionally, be careful when matrixing his Deadeye. It takes time and practice to learn the common timings for the ability, but if you run out of Matrix you are actually able to body block all of his shots by standing right in front of his face. You'll lose your mech in the process, but save your team instead. After D.Va's rework, Farah becomes one of the most trivial matchups, and you are easily one of the most annoying characters for her, arguably more so than any hit scan. If you're chasing a Farah, be aware that she cannot displace you with a concussive blast whilst you're boosting, so be sure to use your boosters if you know she'll try and knock you away. As an extra note, you can also make Farah kill herself on her own ult by boosting into her and cancelling your boosters after you make contact with the Farah. Playing against Reaper is a careful battle. In order to win, you must first deplete his shotgun ammo so that you can engage while he is reloading. Try to fight him at medium range as his drop-off is greater than yours at that range. When your Matrix runs out, or he has to reload, unload your full combo onto him and blow him up before he can start lifestealing again. It's also important to note this D.Va that you can stop anyone from dying from Reaper's ult, even after the reduced Matrix timing. Reaper's ult doesn't kill anyone particularly quickly, so you can wait a second before starting Matrix to ensure no one dies. Soldier is similar to McCree, where the winner of the matchup is decided whether his healing field is utilised or not. Whilst you can kill a soldier within his biotic field, it is much more difficult and requires great accuracy. For more reliable ways to kill Soldier, save your boosters to boop him out of his biotic field so you can blast him when he can't heal. Additionally, Soldier is unable to crit during his tactical visor, so you can walk straight up to him and body block his shots once his Matrix runs out. For Sombra, there are two types of battles. At the start of the game, she'll usually appear behind tanks or healers to farm her ult for a bit, and then translocate away. Instead of shooting her here, it is important to instead Matrix her to deny her ult charge and force her to take longer to farm EMP. If a Sombra is directly fighting you however, it is vital that you do not Matrix as she will hack you through it and turn you into a juicy ult charge battery. Fight her in close quarters and blow her up with missiles instead. If a Sombra arcs her translocator high in the air and you react quickly, boost directly away to try and prevent getting EMP. You can keep your hacked teammates alive by using your Matrix if you are able to get out of the EMP radius successfully. Against Tracer, you have all of the mobility tools to chase her down and make her flanking difficult. When fighting her though, cycle your Matrix with her firing and reloading to try and preserve your Matrix for longer. When Tracer does have Pulse Bomb, she will more often than not go for melee range blinks onto stick targets to land an easy stick onto your allies. Be aware of this and flash your Matrix up when needed when she appears close to your allies. Against Bastian, it will be impossible to win a fight versus him in turret form if he's aware of your engagement. He will out-heal your burst or mow you down before you can really damage him. It's vitally important that you catch him on the flank, as it is there that you can burst him down before he can react in most cases. Hanzo vs D.Va is personally quite a fun matchup. Like Soldier and McCree, Hanzo is really only able to win the fight if he lands a close range scatter to you as you engage. If you eat this scatter, there should be no way for him to win the fight, provided you don't mess up. Once you're in close range of him though, it is important that you spam jump and AD strafe, as it makes it much more difficult for him to headshot you. Don't be too close to him though, as it'll allow him to easily headshot you by barrel stuffing you. Junkrat, as annoying as he is, or was because he's graciously getting nerfed, isn't that hard of an opponent for D.Va. As long as you don't engage him with 2 mines available and you are able to barrel stuff him with your missiles and cannons, you'll win the DPS fight. When Riptire is active, try hunt for his body, as it will lead you to a free kill that could change the outcome of a fight. If you know a tire is coming for you, boost directly upwards to reduce the damage you can take. Close proximity tire will take a D.Va mech down from 600 HP to 5 HP, so flying up you can reduce the damage you take as a tire explodes. When you or a teammate kills Junkrat though, make sure you matrix his passive, as it will prevent any accidents from trigger happy teammates running over his passive mines. Mei is annoying, but both uncommon and not that hard to deal with as a D.Va player. When you're about to get frozen by a Mei, whip your mouse 180 degrees to make it impossible for her to headshot you. Even if she tries to walk around, she's very unlikely to have enough time to connect an icicle with your face. If you're unable to eat a Mei ult, try and save allies caught within it by matrixing into the blizzard and by boosting out of it before you get frozen. When against a Torbjorn, it's vitally important not to let him barrel stuff you. His secondary fire can 3-shot a full HP D.Va mech, which makes him a terrifying opponent to face in close range. Instead, fight him at around 10 meters away, so your cannons still deal full damage and your missiles are easy to land on his short hitbox, but you won't take as much damage from his attacks. As D.Va, it's most often your job to destroy his turrets, especially if placed on the high ground. Save your missiles until after you stop boosting, so you can be fully accurate with your volley into the turret at point blank. A D.Va vs Widow fight should be trivially easy. Given experience, you can gauge the time it takes to charge up a shot, and then flash the matrix when she will fire. Once in close range against a Widow though, you can easily win the fight, as she cannot reliably hit close range shots. In a D.Va 1v1, it's very much a mind game battle. If you use your micro missiles, you can force the enemy D.Va to waste her matrix early, but then you are left without your greatest burst tool. When battling in close quarters, make sure you jump and strafe to ensure that you're much harder to headshot, as it is here where raw damage wins the duel. If you demech the enemy D.Va first, matrix her bullets so that when or if you also get demeched, you can force the enemy D.Va to reload earlier than you have to. Be careful calling your mech however, as its animation makes you an extremely easy target to get bursted before you can call it. If Orisa has Fortify, you have very little hope of winning a duel. Without it however, she is rather stuck against you and has little options for retaliation. Boosters, whilst inconsistent, ignores most of the pull from Halt, and as such will be saved in anticipation for her halting you away when you engage. Her headshot hitbox is even larger than yours, so it should be easy for you to mow her down with your full burst combo once you're in close range. Reinhardt's Fire Strike is an often undervalued tool for farming his ult. It gives him 7% ult charge per target hit and can hit multiple targets at once, and as such it's very important that you eat as many fire strikes as you can when against an enemy Reinhardt. Given experience, you'll be able to instinctively matrix it when the wind up sound is played, so be sure to watch out for the animation or matrix when you start hearing the sound playing. Additionally, you can boop the side of a charging Reinhardt to mess up his charge and force him to miss his target. When fighting Reinhardt, kite him with your missiles first, as they do not reduce your move speed in the same fashion as your cannons do. A melee range Reinhardt can't catch up with you unless you slow yourself by firing your cannons. You can also iframe his Earth Shatter with Cool Mech to avoid the stun, as mentioned in the guide video. When fighting Rotom, use your boosters instead of Matrix if he hooks you. When you get hooked, the Matrix activation animation is too long to absorb his initial shot, but boosters is not. Be sure to save your Matrix charge to tap Matrix on hooked allies if they get hooked. It's your job to save their life. If you have no Matrix, you can either intercept the shot yourself or boop the Rotom out of the way to mess up his aim. When he ults, make sure that you keep your distance when eating him. If you zoom into close range, you'll be blasted off Team Rocket style once your Matrix runs out, and you'll be instantly Domecq'd. Winston is a pretty trivial matchup as long as you're in your mecha. If he attempts to bubble dance, rather than slowing yourself and attempting to cannon him, boop him out of the bubble and mow him down whilst he's stuck in the air. Whilst he's ulting though, make sure you're firing no matter what, as it will reduce the knockback you take against him and stop him from pushing you off the map if possible. If a Winston tries to jetpack into your team, deny his lead with your boosters. Ziya v D.Va is often underrated. While she will out DPS you after hitting 55 charge, provided the D.Va is accurate but isn't headshotting, you can definitely still burst her down if her bubble is on cooldown and you are able to eat the ults that you may feed her, provided you are both aware and cautious. I'm not advocating you pick fights with every Ziya you see, but you definitely don't have to be terrified of one. Whilst your weapons are better the closer you are to the target, Ziya's beam does the same damage to anyone it hits regardless of range. Because of this, make sure you're barrel stuffing any Ziyas you do pick a fight with and always aim for the head for maximum DPS. You can easily compete with middle charge Ziyas as long as their bubble is down and you're accurate, and with your missile volley you can burst them rather quickly. If Ziya is fully charged though, try using the environment to avoid them rather than boosting erratically. By boosting, you make yourself a juicy airborne target for her to laser, and by hiding behind objects you make her waste both time, ammo and charge if she tries to chase you. If you start using your missiles and an observant Ziya tries to catch the volley with her bubble for charge, be sure to whip your mouse away to deny her the chance for energy. You can also bait Ziyas into using their bubble with the same tactic, and then engage on them. Ana is an annoyance, but you do have your advantages against her. Ana is the only support with projectile healing, meaning it can be blocked by your Matrix. Deny healing on targets Ana is sniping to make it difficult for them to be sustained in a fight. When diving Ana, she will try to sleep you once you come into close range. Don't waste your Matrix anticipating the dart, instead bring it up once you're close to her, or if you hear her use it early. If you can't Matrix, flick your mouse up after booping to change your angle rapidly and avoid the dart. If you're flying into the air to get some space, be sure to fly erratically rather than a straight line to avoid making yourself an easy dart target for Ana. When fighting her, respect her grenade healing also, be ready to fight a 300 HP granny rather than a 200 HP one. When fighting Lucio, booster usage is vital to both chase him as he wall rides and interrupt his hops. You can boop him off walls or ruin his wall changes with your boosters and interrupt his movement. Additionally, you are able to boop him when he jumps up for an ult to buy extra time for your team to kill him before he lands. If he dies before he lands on the ground, the ult will be cancelled and his charge will be set to 0. Against Mercy, other than chasing her aggressively, you can deny her resurrect by booping her away from the soul she's using the ability on. This will cancel the res and put the ability onto cooldown. If she turns into a moth, you can camp the bodies with or without your ult to punish or kill the moth as it goes into res. If you do use your bomb, you can zone her out of the fight entirely. Against Moira, her damage is significantly reduced against armor. Use this buffer to getting close to her, and if possible save your boosters to chase her after she vanishes away. Without her healing or damage orb, she has no hope of 1v1ing you in close quarters, and you should be able to burst her easily with your full combo. Symetra is a rather trivial pick nowadays, and although some people may hate her, I personally disagree. Against the Symetra, your best asset is using your boosters to quickly sweep away her turrets at choke points to allow your team to push through the choke more easily. Additionally, if you're going to use your bomb to destroy a teleporter or a shield generator, Only use it if you're standing right on top of it. Aware Symetra players will simply time their photon barrier to block the blast. Don't do what I did. Please. While Zenyatta is an easy target for you to burst down due to his large circular hitbox, if you're matrixing his right click, don't start your matrix immediately. You will not have enough matrix to sustain the full charge time and will simply get gibbed once your matrix runs out. And well, that is it for all 26 heroes in the game. That's all the advice I can give to you. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned something, and I hope that there's something that you can apply to your games when you play D.Va next time. Whilst I don't normally ask this, I've noticed that about 76% of my viewers on videos aren't actually subscribed to my channel. If you did enjoy my content, it'd be graciously appreciated if you do subscribe to view future content that I produce, or leave a like on the video to show your support.